Afternoon guys, and welcome to James Talks Games. Now whilst we're waiting for my new Elgato to come through the post, I thought we'd do a cheeky little rundown of my top 5 games of all time. Now putting together this list has been quite difficult, but I've managed to whittle it down to my top 5 and managed to put them in some kind of order. Let's take a look and jump right in. In at number 5 is a game that needs no introduction whatsoever. It's a game that's considered by critics to be the greatest game ever made, Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time on the N64. When this game came out, it blew everybody away, especially myself. I remember getting it for Christmas, Christmas 1998, and it's still to this day I can remember the feeling of playing it for the first time. Gorgeous character design, beautiful graphics, amazing music, and a full 3D world that was open to exploration and which we'd never really seen before at the time. Christmas Day, 12-year-old me leaving Kokiri Forest for the first time and walking out into Hyrule Field and looking at Hyrule, and honestly man, it just blew my fucking mind. Like, it still gives me goosebumps thinking about it now, like the music and like the sweeping camera shot of Hyrule. Yeah man, enough said about that game. Absolutely brilliant. In at number 4 is another N64 classic, and a game that many people consider to be one of the greatest first-person shooters of all time, GoldenEye 64. The interesting thing about GoldenEye is that even though it was a movie tie-in, it was released 2 years later than the actual movie was. Now that's just beggars belief. Imagine that nowadays, you know, a Transformers film coming out this year and then 2 years later a game comes out. It's just unthinkable, you wouldn't get it. But the thing with GoldenEye is the development team, Rare, really took the time with this one, and it's really interesting reading about how this game was made. It was really made on the fly, loose. The development team was really inexperienced at the time and basically built the game from the floor up, engine, everything, and it really shows. They really took the time with this game, and oh, it's just a classic. I mean, I was playing it at the weekend against my girlfriend's brother. You know, we were playing multiplayer, golden gun, and we were still screaming like girls, running around, chasing each other with a golden gun. It's just fantastic, and you realise, looking back to that game and playing first-person shooters now, what a debt they owe really to GoldenEye 64 and Rare. In at number 3 is what up until about 3 years ago I considered my greatest video game of all time. A game that I thought would never be surpassed. It's still an absolute classic to me. We have to go back 22 years since I first played it, and of course it is Street Fighter 2 on the SNES. This was probably one of the first games I remember fully getting into and playing. At the time, I'd never really played a beat 'em up like it. Well, I haven't really played a beat 'em up before. I consider this to be the first and the last in terms of beat 'em ups. I don't think there's been anything since that's rivaled it. Here it is actually. Here's my copy, my original copy, which I got with my Super Nintendo over 20 years ago now. Still play it, still love it. It's just timeless really. The characters, again, I just fell in love with them. I got obsessed with Street Fighter 2. I collected the comics, the anime, anything and everything, just to soak up the whole universe and of the game. Even though they've released many Street Fighter games since, even different incantations of versions of Street Fighter 2, you know, Super Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. This is still the original and best in my eyes, an absolute classic. Enough said. Tiger! So here we are at number 2 guys. I know what you're thinking, what can it be, Jamesy? What can possibly be better than Street Fighter 2 on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System? Or indeed, Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time on the N64? Well, I'll tell you what can be better than them. And it's my number 2 place, Red Dead Redemption. by Rockstar. In my eyes, Rockstar's masterpiece. A massive expansive world set in the Wild West, really refreshing, beautiful vistas and scenery that you could just trot along on your horse and be quite happy just gazing out on the scenery. Hunting, the side missions, the main story itself is fantastic, really gripping, involving, and Rockstar really gave us a central character that we could really empathise with and sympathise with. We wanted Marston to succeed in his mission. It was just really well written, was the whole story, and it really showed what Rockstar could do when they put their mind to it. Comparing Red Dead Redemption to GTA 5, to me it's all in the writing and the characters. Like I said, like with Marston, you really wanted him to come through, you felt for him, you wanted to do the best by him really in a way. Whereas last year, you know, with Trevor, Franklin and Michael and GTA 5, personally I just thought the characters were underwritten. I didn't care, I thought they were a bit annoying, a bit shallow and two-dimensional, and I just really didn't care what happened to them. They just lacked the depth of one central character in the form of John Marston. A superb bit of storytelling, a superb game, and it really needs to be played. So here we are, numero uno, my top video game of all time, and it only just came out last year as well. I'm sure many of you have probably guessed by now, but it's The Last of Us on the PlayStation 3. Naughty Dog's post-apocalyptic masterpiece came out last year to much fanfare and well-deserved praise. I don't have the superlatives really for this game. It is absolutely fantastic and it is a must-play for any video game fan. I must admit, when we were first seeing the first few screenshots and the first bits of information were coming out from Naughty Dog a couple of years ago, I was a bit, yeah, meh. It'll be good, I'm sure. Maybe just a bit of Nathan Drake running around shooting zombies. But how wrong I was when it came out. I was blown away, absolutely staggering. The chief thing with this game is its storyline and its central characters. I know I've been banging on a lot about storyline, boring, but it's not. Like, I'm old school. I've played brilliant games with superb gameplay, and what really gets me nowadays is storyline. I mean, a lot of us, I'm sure at the moment, me included, are playing Destiny. It's been out a couple of weeks now. Great game, really good gameplay, satisfying, beautiful worlds, music, lovely, very glossy, flashy, but to me, there's just no storyline here. I mean, I haven't a clue what's going on. I'm doing this, putting that into a computer, shooting that. Who's this? Who's that? Who are they? I don't know. Do I care? No. But with The Last of Us, Ellie and Joel, the two central characters, they're going somewhere and we're going with them basically, whether we want to or not. It is just so riveting. The gameplay itself, the mechanics, the cover, the stealth, the combat, oh, it's just perfect. Naughty Dog have absolutely excelled themselves here. The first 10 minutes of the game is just unbelievable. I was in tears, like literally, and you can slag me off for that, but what an achievement to get, you know, a grown man in tears and that emotionally involved 10 minutes into a video game. Who would have thought it? A perfect game in my eyes. Nothing bad to say about it. The only complaint I'd have is that it had to end, and when it did end, I was applauding it. You know, it was a perfect ending to a perfect game, leaving you on a bit of a cliffhanger with a little bit of hope. Just absolutely brilliant. So there we go, guys. Those were Jamesy's top 5 video games of all time. We're going to be looking at some of these titles in a bit more detail. I'm going to actually be doing features on some of them and getting a bit more in depth as to why and what makes them such great games in my eyes, personally. So what do you think? Get in the comment section below and let me know. Were my choices good or were they dog shit? Let me know what you think, guys. Smash the like button, subscribe. I'm going to have heaps loads of fucking awesome content coming. It's going to be wicked. See you soon. Nice one.